You curse.
Let's go. We live.
Is we?
We are live. Let's go.
All right. Yo,
We
sorry.
back.
We back.
Hey, look. Got him.
We made it.
This is not the first
If this had been the real thing, right? All of your computers would have shut down.
Let me just say
Sirens
this.
would have went off.
Let me say this. Someone's computer is lagging. I don't know why, but it's causing for my expensive equipment to lag along with y'all.
We'll
So
take
you
it
know,
right.
So now we lying.
so you already know what time it is.
Now we lying.
All right, let's send this thing back out. I don't know. Let's share it.
We're sharing. People are coming in. Sorry, y'all. Just give us a second. We had a little technical difficulties. It happens. It's technology. It's a part of the process. But make sure you share it. Send it out to your people. We want as many people here as possible, man. We appreciate those who are regulars who come in every week and show us love. We appreciate y'all more than you know. And Gio said he had the fun. He's setting up to send money to all y'all. So as soon as he send that money out, let me know.
What it do? What it do? Can we go through the introductions again? I
All right.
guess.
So this is what we're gonna do, man. Y'all know how we always do, man. Before we get into anything, we're gonna go around the table, introduce ourselves. I think this time for good luck, we're gonna we're gonna start off in Miami first.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, this is your boy Gio. We want to give a shout out to everybody who's tuning in to Quick. Damn, we have a lot of feedback coming out of Huntsville, Alabama. But I ain't saying
Don't do that. Not you. You don't talk. You don't do that.
We have a lot of feedback coming out of Huntsville, Alabama.
I'm about to go
But yeah,
Farrakhan.
hold on. This is your boy Gio from 305. I want to give a quick shout out to my church, West Park Seventh Adventist Church and Unity Seventh Adventist Church, and we thank you for your continued support. And this is Kickinit316.
He got professional there.
Yeah, he did.
He got professional. Everybody, once again, this is Croc Kicks, man. We thank you so much for bearing with us, man. We're still trying to build this platform. We're gonna make mistakes, and I think you all love us because of it. Because we are ourselves. It's authentic. It's real. There's no sugarcoating it. Things happen.
Not at all.
But we're here to make it happen, man. Croc Kicks. I'm here in Huntsville, Alabama. All my Huntsville people, man. I thank you for your support. My Florida people, just everybody, man. Thanks for kicking it with us.
Man, and as always, your boy Terry here in Orlando, man, in the sunny, rainy, hot, humid Central Florida area, man. I'm thankful, first of all, that this hurricane missed us. I know, Gio, I know you're thankful too. Hurricane missed us. We got a little bit of rain, but that was it. Thankful for that. But you ain't get no rain?
Yeah, it's still raining right now. Like it got us real good.
Oh,
Yeah,
we good.
I'm overlooking the bay, so I'm blessed.
Yeah.
It
My
didn't come
bad.
through.
My bad.
Yeah, you
my
try to
bad.
slide
Yeah,
up
my
in there?
bad,
You
big
say you
money.
gotta
My
slide
bad.
in
You know what I'm
there?
saying? One day when I
I'm
grow up.
overlooking the bay. I'm overlooking the bay.
I'm just saying your boy could have got
Slide
lost.
that in there
Your,
real
your
quick.
boy your boy could have felt the brunt of the hurricane. But I thank you all for praying for your boy.
Yes,
Praying
sir.
Isaiah away from South Florida,
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm so far north, I don't even know what a hurricane is anymore, man.
bro.
Hey, that's crazy. You got to come on back home, brother.
Yeah, home
We
is where
got
the heart
tornadoes,
is.
though.
Yeah, I do got tornadoes. But it's your boy Ted, man, and we're just happy to be here with y'all, man. And like we were saying earlier, before we begin, we got to say Breonna Taylor's name. We got to say Elijah McClain's name. We want justice for these people, and we're not going to stop until we get it. So, if you get tired of us saying their name, then make sure you call the district attorneys in the area and stay on them, because we're gonna stay on them too. But just as we get started, before we get started, we also want to make a couple announcements. Number one, go to YouTube right now. Well, not right now. After the show's over, go to YouTube and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit notification bell on Kickinit316 on our YouTube channel. We are asking you, please, to blow that thing up. Then also, we are on podcasts now. You can find us, and I have a list today, so I have to tell you just everywhere. Right now, we're broadcasting on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker Podcasts, Pocket Podcasts. It's called Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Anchor. On all those, on any type of medium you're trying to find us on, it's Kicking It 316. So go on there, listen to our podcast. If you can't listen to us weekly, if you want to listen to us in the car, if you were driving with somebody else, you want them to hear the show, just plug it into the podcast or hit up the YouTube channel. You can find us on there. But let's get into one thing that everybody loves, about our show, and that is the kick it part. And we're talking about shoes.
Yeah.
We're talking about some sneakers.
Yeah.
Now, I think we got some heat coming out this week, and I think Croc Kit's gonna kick us off with a pair that he's really. Are you feeling those or not?
Yeah. Once again, I'm tired of talking about this shoe personally. At this point.
Like, when are they coming out, Croc?
The
like,
Jordan 6 Quay 54. Man, they're scheduled to finally be releasing. We got merch alert.
merch alert.
August 8th. Price point is $200. I'm tired of talking about this shoe. Honestly, at one point I wanted the shoe, but they pushed it back so many times. I'm over it. But if you're into Jordan 6s, I do have a decent, beginning of a 6 collection. So 6s are always tempting to me, but this is gonna be a pass for me, fellas. It's gonna be a pass.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm with you though. I'm with you on that. I think they're high. Maybe if I see it in hand,
right,
it might change my mind. But I'm sort of with you on that one. But
I love sixes. I love sixes, but definitely, what I love even more than the sixes, you like the transition. What I love more than the sixes is these here. These fives. I'm the five king. That's what they call me, the 5 king. And yeah, I don't do that. 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 Listen. Real talk.
I mean, king.
Come on, man. Come on. Let's not go there. But listen, these shoes here. We're being serious, man. These are the Kicking It, right? So these shoes here are the 5s, the Bel Air, the Ghost, the Ghost Green. They say we're supposed to call those Bel Air alternates. I guess they're taking those from the perspective of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. If you've ever watched that show, I think these are dope. It gives you that early 90s feel. These are heavy, thick shoes, and I just love the color palettes on it. And I don't know about you all, but if I'm green lit, I'm definitely getting those for sure. But the thing about it is though, I already have a pair of white Jordan 5s. But anyhow, yeah. So those I don't even have to see them in hand. I know how they feel. They're dope shoe all around. What y'all feel about those?
I think they're clean shoe. I mean, it always goes back to the thing of having white shoes. Mm-hmm. Especially with bigger feet, white shoes is always like boats. Mm-hmm. So but I think it's a clean shoe. I can't take it. If I wore like a size 8 or 7, it would almost be like an automatic.
Where's the 8?
I'm just saying the smallest shoe.
8, 7.
I'm just saying I think shoes better than white. So I don't know, but what you feel, Croc?
Man, I'm so Florida, man. I like colors. I do like my colors. I like my colors, man. But it's a pass. It's a pass.
It's a hard pass.
No, there's nothing wrong with the shoe. Just where my money is at right now, it got to be something that really screams at me, something worth getting in trouble about. This ain't worth the eyes.
This ain't it. It ain't worth. Let me just say this to y'all real quick. There's another. Now I put this on the slideshow, and I know I took liberty. I know y'all in green light this one yet, but the Air Jordan 5 has also golf shoes. They're the lemon venom. They're tie dye. Y'all gonna have to look at those things on your Facebook. These joints are sick. Now the only thing I have against those is I don't like playing golf with white shoes. If you know me, if you play golf with me, as you boys have, you know that most of the times I'm either out of bounds or in the water. So I don't see myself putting some J's in the pond just to retrieve a ball. But these are dope, man. These are dope. Anyhow, so yeah.
I wonder how comfortable they're with, because most golf shoes are low cut.
Well, these are low. These are low. Yeah, these are low.
Yeah, but they don't seem as low as like golf shoes normally.
Definitely. Definitely. Yes, sir.
What you about to say, some Croc?
Yeah. I don't like golf. So they don't speak to me. But I
Yeah.
will say I saw
We ain't
something on
taking a long
Instagram.
time.
You know, they always trying to give you little commercials. There's this tool now where you can make any sneaker into a golf shoe.
Are you serious?
So yeah, you can take any sneaker
Is
and
it
turn it into a golf shoe.
is
That's
it
something to
is,
think about.
is it a permanent modification, or how does that work?
I mean, it's gonna leave a hole when you
See,
done. It's
so
gonna
I
leave a
don't
hole.
know. I don't
It's gonna
know.
leave a hole.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
little cousin, man, he been turning a lot of his Jordans and stuff into skates.
Wow.
Okay.
So I
Okay,
mean,
legit.
I think it's in with YouTube. You can do anything these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyways, man, one of my favorite silhouettes of Nikes, the Air Max 90. We got the Violent Blend coming out
Man,
August 15th. That's a clean shoe. Like
It
you said,
is.
being from
it's a
Florida.
clean shoe.
Florida. Now, I've never been a fan of the rabbit hair fur thing on shoes, but I think for these, it's a clean shoe.
It's a clean.
It's a
No, it's a clean
clean
shoe.
shoe. It's a clean shoe.
140 coming out on the 15th. What's that? Next week? Not this weekend. Next week.
I mean, to be honest with you, my wife and I might buy the same exact shoe.
Why not?
Purple is a favorite color, and this, and like I said, in this colorway, these
Said
look
purple,
good.
your favorite color?
It's hers. I said hers.
I said yours too.
Hey, I don't
Let
mind
me-
that.
Let me I really shouldn't say this, especially how the show started off. Started off really bumpy, y'all. But you know, big shout out to Gio with the production, man. I see the colors that you put in there on that Nike Air Max Violet blend. It's looking good, man.
We
It's
try.
looking good,
We try.
man.
I try.
Yeah, Gio is our production manager. If you guys haven't picked up
And
on,
sometimes he do too much, but but when he on.
AKA
Out the
AKA
park.
Teddy
He
Riley.
on.
Teddy
Yeah.
Riley.
It
you
look
can't say
good.
nothing about him when he on, boy. So yeah, it got these. It has premium materials in. So I'm surprised. It's well, I guess normally like 110.
Yeah.
So these are going for 140. So that's the reason for the price difference. I think it says synthetic crocodile and pony hair textures,
Wow.
cracked suede panels. So it's an upgrade on regular, compared to regular Air Max 90s. But go ahead, Croc Kids. I see you.
Yeah, I selected this shoe for us to talk about because when I saw this shoe, I really thought about the ladies that have been supporting us, man. They've been watching and viewing us, and even though this isn't necessarily a women's shoe, I really think, ladies, if you're out there, you're looking for a shoe that's gonna really pop, a shoe that everybody's not going to have, a shoe that people are going to ask you, yo, what are those? This is the shoe. That shoe is hidden.
Hey, guys! I promise you, in 2 weeks, Crocs will have these shoes on his shelf. I can almost promise you.
No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
So what are you talking about?
They're not worth the eyes. Pops in here throwing shade.
Yeah, it gets started early.
Come on, bro. We ain't gonna get on your XJ 900s.
What did Pop say? What is Pop saying?
Pop, yeah, is this the Rainbow edition of the sneaker show?
Oh man,
Pops.
listen, man. I gave my pops a pair of J's, man. A pair of my shoes from my little collection. I got a little collection. I gave him a pair of my J's, man. Referee 11 lows, man. And man, I seen him. He had his heel like walking in them joints. I was like, man, these is J outside in the garage. These is J's.
Hey, Pops, no respect for the J's. No respect.
Dad, I love you, man. I love you, man. Always.
All right, man.
Right.
So y'all make sure y'all check out those shoes, man. We try to bring y'all, stuff that's coming up soon, so you know what's coming up, so you can be prepared and make that purchase if these are touching your soul, and if you got permission from your significant other to do so. We're not giving y'all a license to get in trouble, because we don't want y'all to say Kickinit316 told. We don't want y'all telling your other that Kickinit316 told you to do it. So don't put that on us, man.
we got no tech support on that. We got no tech support.
For sure.
Oh, did you hit the infrared joints too? So the blend, that Nike Air Max 90, it's like a pack, They got the purple ones that we just looked at, and then they got the infrared blend. And when I first saw this shoe, I was wondering where the blend came in from, man. And then also the infrared. But if you notice, the inside of this shoe, you have that infrared Nike swoosh, man. And this is an all black, except for that red. This is that I'm about to handle some business. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is real deal, man. This all black with a little red popping. You stepping out, a black event, there's something right here. I can see it now. the black polo with the red horse.
Yeah.
See that with the Miami Heat hat.
You hit that.
Well, I don't know about the Heat hat with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat, with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat, with that Tampa Bay Buccaneers hat. You're at the champion hat. I feel you.
All right, man.
Man.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
man. So we thank you all, man. We went through our kick portion of it, man. And we want to dive into the it segment. We got a real important lineup for us. It's not a very long. I was a preacher. You're never supposed to say you're not gonna be long with it. You just never know.
Because you know what happens
There's one or two topics here. Depending on if y'all talk back to us, man. I think we can really get to some issues, man, and peel back some layers on some stuff, man. So up first, man, Ted, man, this was something that really was on your heart, man. Talk to the people about it.
Yeah, see, so I've worked in education before, and I've seen students who I won't say can't succeed or excel, but I've seen students who I think there's a better option for them. And what we're talking about is alternative to traditional education. So what a lot of school districts have done now is that they are offering students in high school, they can learn how to, like I was over a school store and where I taught kids everything from how to write a business plan to how to embroider shirts and screen print, stuff like that. And then as a result of that, one of my students actually went to go work at a store doing that stuff. We had another teacher who was teaching students they had students learning how to become nurses. We had kids who were learning how to do CNC, which is, like working with different type of materials in a factory. So we just want to talk about that, man. All three of us have multiple degrees and we went through the traditional route. But the question that I want to ask is it time for us to make a shift where we start focusing, telling our kids, it was always said, go to school and get a job. But now you have people getting degrees and can't get a job. Yeah. And then they leave school with a bunch of loans. Mm-hmm. So is it time for us to start looking at past time for us to start looking at other alternatives? So I just want to know, what do you guys think about that? What's your feeling on that?
Well,
I'll jump out.
Go ahead, jump on, fan.
I'll jump out there, man. I remember I was in junior college, man, and I was really trying to find my way, and I was stressed. I was struggling. I was dropping a class every semester. I was withdrawing out of one class. And I went to my dad, man, and I told my dad, man, I'm still living at home. I said, Dad, man, I need to take a semester off. And my dad looked at me and said, from junior college? Junior college? And I took that semester off. I regrouped, man, and I got my act together and I made it through. But the reality of it is I honestly do believe that for some people, a degree or college it's not the best route for them. Mm-hmm. And instead of going to college, wasting money, it may be best for you to go the route of a trade school or entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. I will say, if you are able to do school work, mm-hmm. personally, I think you should do at least a semester. That's just me. You may not have to spend a whole lot of money, but go to a state, and if you're a person of color, go to an HBCU for a semester, get the experience, man. Yeah. And you never know, it might spark something inside of you. And I think beyond the book work in college, it really is so many life lessons in college. But if you just can't manage the book work, that's just not your cup of tea. You may have some challenges. You may just not be focused, driven. Then, I don't see anything wrong with finding a trade or being an entrepreneur, those type of things.
I think it's actually very, very wise to do that, to be honest with you. I'm just looking at it, and I'm looking at it from a different perspective. Croc, you're giving the more of the experiential perspective. I was looking at some of the numbers, and do you know that student loans right now is the number one highest debt in all of America, right? It's above auto loans, it's above credit card loans. I'm talking about the aggregate of all of Americans put together. Things like $1.4 trillion that we owe the government. Many people owe the government. And for the most part, a lot of people are in default. And the reason why people are in default is because we've taken all these loans to secure an education and realize that after we graduated, that what we're making, what we're earning, isn't even enough
To
to
pay student
pay
loans.
student loans. And
Yes, sir.
my mom, before she passed, used to say to me, son, you took out loans. Your loans are going to be with for you. If you're not able to pay them off, like your utilities. So some people are having to literally live life with utilities, with gas, with food, and loan. Like loan is becoming like a new steeple in their budget. And so I was looking at this particular junior college or trade school and their advertisement. I put it up on the screen. It talks about the differences between a 4-year college and a first-year college, and what it boils down to is really just money. Instead of paying 4 years of school, you can do that in 1 year, and in 1 year or less, you are adequately trained to get a job. And some of these colleges, some of these places actually will place you in the field in which they have trained you, so that you're able to right out the gate jump out and start making money. And so it's serious. I remember when I went to the seminary, and they told us, you know, being a pastor, we know that you're not going to make money. Let's just keep it real. At least not in the church, not in the Adventist church. And so I forget which class it was, but they said if you've reached about just $40,000 worth of student loan, you might want to just go ahead and just call it quits, because that will
That's it.
represent, yeah, and that's what I said,
That's
because undergrad alone,
not even.
yeah, undergrad
Yeah.
alone at a private institution at HBC, you're spending money. And so, bro,
I mean, you was a PK, so you don't have that problem.
Yeah, you got a problem like us.
we thank y'all for paying your tithes, for returning the honest tithes. To all y'all out there, thank you so much. The 70% came in handy. Praise the
Right.
Lord. Yes, sir.
Right.
So for me, as a person that has amassed student loans, especially with law school. For those that don't know, when you go to like law school or med school, most people are taking out student loans, and on top of that, student loans to pay for your education, you're given a plus loan, which allows you to have living expenses. So because especially in law, I don't know how it is in med school, but in law school, you can't work if you're there full time. You can't
Yeah.
work more than 20 hours.
Yeah.
And so you have to have some type of income. So every semester, every fall and spring semester, I was given an additional $10,000 for expenses. During the summer, I was given $5,000, not given, because I had to pay it back.
Balling.
But that money, and I've seen some of my law school classmates go out. I saw a dude buy a motorcycle. I saw some of not some of the women go out and buy expensive purses and bags and stuff like that. And I've seen people waste money and then have to, then when it's time to graduate, you got to get that money back.
Yeah.
And then one of the craziest things, and it's not for everybody, but then I've seen people finish law school and then they get a job paying $30,000-$40,000 when you're amassing that amount of student loans in one semester. And so to me, it boggled my mind that we keep trying to push people to go down, oh, you got to be a lawyer, you got to be a doctor, you got to be this, you got to be that. When there are alternative routes, whether it's trade school or is it becoming an entrepreneur, even going through trade school, if you become a plumber, you can become an independent contractor, which means you can dictate when you work, how often you work, and how much money you make. And I think we have to start looking at these alternatives, especially as us as fathers. We have kids who are coming up. I know our parents told us, especially, well, my mom not so much, but most Adventist parents say you go to two places, either Oakwood or Oakwood. I think we have to start showing our kids that there are other alternatives. And I learned that even more with starting this business, that it's up to us every day how much money we want to make. If we want to go out there and make money, we can make money. If not, then we won't make any money. And I think that's the difference between that and just a regular job. And I think we have to start showing people there are a bunch of ways to be educated and there are a bunch of ways to be employed. But we have to make sure that we're doing it in a smart way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's smart. All the student loans that I amass, I don't think that's smart.
Well, the thing about it, when you're in line and you need to get clear, financially clear, you're not really thinking of the implications. Life is always brighter. You're thinking, no doubt, I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna conquer the world, and then when you get out, you realize that even if you get a job, employment in your career, that sometimes it is not as well. And then, and check this out: if you get married to someone else who also has amassed student loans, now you're talking about double trouble. And so, I agree with you, Ted, in terms of making sure that we're not closed-minded and that we're not being so dogmatic with our children and we tell them that the only way to do school is one way. You know,
And it's,
I think that I would say this. I think that in our context as Black African Americans, I'm speaking in general terms. Many of our parents probably didn't have money set aside for a college education, and
mhm.
I think that that might be something additional that we need to look into, even if it's for trade school or to start a business. You hear Donald Trump talking about he borrowed money or his father gave him money. I
A
think
small loan.
a small loan. I I said his name. I apologize, fans. Fam. But I would say this, that I think that even if you're not going to use that money for
That's
college
true.
or for trade school, that you could set it aside maybe for entrepreneurial purposes. You know, help them start their own
Hmm.
business so that they have something to hold on to. You know.
I,
There,
I,
there are a couple
I,
points. Go ahead, Cross. But a couple points I saw people making in the chat. I just want to make sure we hit on those. But go ahead.
Hmm.
Sure, sure. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my cousin, to Tiffany Mobley. She just graduated. She got her master's degree in education, and she's
Nice.
getting ready to. She's stepping out of the classroom and into the position of a guidance counselor.
That's good.
So
Okay.
she'll be able to shape and mold teenagers down in the 305. Well, down in South Florida. I think she may be in 305. She down there.
Yeah.
If she's
She
looking for a
down there.
pastor, if she's looking for a
So
pastor, you know
yeah.
what time it is. All right, Tiffany.
And then Dr. Hannah, he does make the point. I do want to agree, and I know we all can say here and say this because at one point all three of us were paid by the church.
Mm,
Now Gio and myself are. We make money. It may not be a lot of it as pastors, but we do make money. And so I don't want anybody to think that we're complaining about what we get, and beyond what we make, what God does with what we got is amazing.
It's
I'll be
amazing.
honest with you all. When I was working on my master's degree, I was blessed to be sponsored to the seminary. I almost said cemetery, but when I was in the seminary, I was blessed to be sponsored, and every month I was blessed with a stipend of $800. And for a while, my wife wasn't working,
Mm.
and I don't know how it was, man. But we not only did we survive, but we traveled more in that 3 year span than we did in any 3 years of our marriage, even to this day. God just blessed.
Yeah.
So I think we got to step outside of the box. We
hmm
no longer can apply pressure to our children, trying to force them to do. But deep down inside, we may already know that's not what's best for them. There are alternative routes that can be taken, and people can have great success, more success than any degree can
Yes,
offer.
sir. A couple things. So Lavina asked, she said something that I think is a good question. She said she believes that that's why certain degree programs shouldn't be offered at all at schools.
I agree.
And I agree with that. There's some degrees I think it's a waste of time. I tell people all the time when people come to me and say, "Hey, I want to go to law school," I ask them what they're majoring in. If they say history or pre-law, I tell them stop wasting their time. I tell them if you're going to go to college, you need to get a degree where if by chance you can't get into law school right away, which happens to a lot of people, that you can still go out and get a job. A degree in pre-law or history, I mean, it's not going to give you anything that's going to be beneficial. And I think there are a lot of degrees that are being offered in
Hey,
school
bro,
that
I
are
got a
waste of time.
minor in history, bro. You're not gonna just disrespect my degree like that, bro. You're not gonna just disrespect my degree like that.
But can I say can I take this a little
But
step further?
uh-huh.
Because even in theology, I mean, knowing that we had to go to the seminary, right? That is a traditional route. I would have said because the seminary really is a reduplication of everything you're taught undergrad, and I think the way Andrews does it, they want to bring some kind of unity into the different schools that have been teaching theology. But to a certain extent, there's a lot of people who didn't go that traditional route, who, as a pastor, had an undergrad in business or in or in education or in psychology, and I think that the more disciplines you can have, if you're going to go the traditional route, the better it is. And I'm talking about disciplines in various of different disciplines. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah. So that's what I would say.
I
But
think that's solid.
but I agree with AJ and Lavina that there are certain degrees that if I were a guidance counselor or even a parent, I would try to steer my and again I don't want to say steer because I feel like now we're doing the same thing our parents did by saying you've got to go to school. but at the same time, we want to make sure that we lay the facts out and that they're able to make decisions with their eyes wide open.
And I know we all have to be responsible. I know we need to continue, but man, I wish throughout the process of college, man, that you would do it throughout this process. You're filling out, these student loans, because you reach a point, man, where you're a full blown adult, right? And you can get these loans on your own. And I wish, man, instead of just an exit interview, that a part of it will be a requirement to sit down with a financial aid counselor, because for me,
Yes.
the only counsel I got was when I was graduation week, man, and I sit down and do my exit interview with financial aid, and they look at my total, and they're like, you're not gonna be able to pay this off. What's your major? They looked at, oh, you a theology major? Oh, you're not gonna be able to pay this off. I'm like,
But it
now
should,
you tell me?
but it should. Hey, they took that money though. They took it, didn't they? They took
Listen.
it.
Yeah. Well,
Listen,
I ain't gonna put it all on them, because it was spent some other places around town too.
My Lord.
Listen, after finishing a bachelor's at Oakwood, a master's at Phoenix, which is a private school, and then my law school degree at a private school, just know student loans is real, and my student loan payment is some people's mortgage. So it's real, and that's why I say and looking back now, I don't think it's, degrees sound good and they could be beneficial in a way, but there are people with no degree or one degree who are making 10 times what I made, just and that's what I'm saying is we have to show our kids all these different opportunities that are out there. Pierre hit on something too, where he said that I think he was saying we should look at the career and then look at the salary, and if it doesn't add up, then don't get the degree. And I agree with that 1,000%. We have to start telling our kids, okay, you like that degree, but how much money? And I know people have done it for years, talking about music majors, and that's one of the degrees people don't want the kids to get, to each his own. But they've done that with music majors, but it's not only music. There are a bunch of degrees where there's no real way to make a way of living. There are people who've gone into music and have done extremely well. There are people who could do that. But then there are people who got degrees and other stuff that they just can't. There's no job market for it. So I think we have to start educating our kids on the alternatives, the different ways to do it. You got people right now who just make YouTube videos all day and making millions of dollars.
Red.
Millions of dollars.
Trolling.
Exactly. So that's another opportunity right there for kids in the future. We have to start looking at these different things. So that was my right.
Cool. We're gonna slide down to our second topic, man. I don't know about you all, man, but there was a sighting this past week, man. There was a sighting, man. Man.
My uncle.
Mr. 44, man.
My uncle.
Obama, man. He did the eulogy of John Lewis, man, and I don't know about y'all, but it was just good to hear somebody who was a president who actually sounds intelligent.
Yes.
It was so refreshing.
It's basic common sense.
Right. I didn't have to worry about what he was going to say next, if he was going to make a fool out of himself and the country. He did an amazing job, man, and it was good to see. It was good to see him, man. You could see, man.
Yeah.
That seat really aged him, my brother.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we saw that.
Yeah.
We saw that when he was actually in office. We saw that how those 8 years aged him tremendously. And I don't think it's no going back.
I want to. I actually went back and read it. I heard it and I went back to read it live, and I want to kind of just read this excerpt. I thought it was kind of deep to me. I don't know how y'all feel about it, but do you mind if I share it with you guys real quick? He says, "I've come here today because I, like so many Americans, owe a great debt to John Lewis and his forceful vision of freedom." Now, I think, this next part I think is good. This country is a constant work in progress. We are born with instructions, right, to form a more perfect union. Explicit in those words is the idea that we are imperfect. That which gives each new generation purpose is to take up the unfinished work of the last and to carry it further than any might have thought possible. John Lewis, first of the Freedom Riders, head of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, youngest speaker at the March on Washington, member of Congress representing the people of the state of Georgia for 33 years, mentor to young people, including me, at that time until his final day on this earth. He has not only embraced he has not only embraced his responsibility, but he made this life work, which isn't bad for someone from Troy. And I thought that was just kind of for me very powerful because he's just really kind of just talking about the reality of our country. Some people don't want to realize it, but our country isn't perfect, and he is advocating that being that this country is not perfect, there's going to be a lot of ills in society, but to the responsible citizen, our job, our mandate is that gives us purpose is to create and to work towards that more perfect union. I don't know if that's possible, but I think that to me touched a chord, especially the times that we're living in right now.
I think you
I mean, so I think it just you
good
just
trouble.
yeah, definitely good trouble. I saw that. I just think that hearing Obama, you just realize how much you just miss normal stuff. I mean, I don't think Bush was the most articulate 43. I don't think he's the most articulate person in the world, but still, it was just like normal decency. I mean, just and and you notice that Obama was there, Clinton was there, Bush 43 was there, Carter would have been there, but I think he was sick or something. And
Coronavirus.
you know who was absent.
Well,
Yeah, I'm
You
not
know who was absent.
that.
well, he couldn't. They would.
Yeah.
I don't even think
I
they'll
don't
let
think they
him.
invited him.
Well, that's
And
not
but
that. To be honest with
You
you,
think?
to
You
be
don't think?
to be honest, to be very clear with you, I don't. Sometimes you got to know where you fit in and where you don't fit in, right? Even if he was invited, I think that he knows that that's not necessarily where he would have
Yes.
done the best the best good at that
Certain
particular moment.
places,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Some
but
places you just don't pull up at.
yeah, there it is.
Eh.
You use it today's vernacular. But again, for me, I agree with you, Ted, that to hear someone who is articulate to be able to speak, in the Queen's English, and to be able to just make sense is refreshing. But I just love the message that he was saying. I think that even while making a eulogy, it's good to be able to give people hope and to
mhm.
be very, to personalize the sermon or to personalize the eulogy and to use someone's life
Yeah,
example and to say, now he did it. Now it's up to you all to finish the course. So, I really thought it was dope.
absolutely, absolutely. Man, y'all ready to transition to this next one?
No, we got it's 9:44. Like, why are you trying to transition so early? What
Hey, somebody
why
listen.
why
This
why are you
this
so hot?
next this next subject, somebody we been talking about all day. Somebody is really, feeling some type of way about this. But let's talk about Jonathan
Gio, go
Isaac.
ahead, roll it out, Gio.
I ain't rolling out nothing.
Let's talk about Jonathan Isaac. For those who don't know, this is the Orlando Magic player who made a statement by well, so what has happened in the bubble is that all the NBA as a whole has come together. You see the court says Black Lives Matters. Some players decided to put messages on the back of their shirt on jerseys, but for the most part, I would say everybody is wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. Um, Most of them, with the exception of 3 people or 4 people, decided to kneel during the national anthem. But those who didn't kneel, with the exception of this one player, wore the Black Lives Matter shirt. I think Pop didn't kneel, Becky Harmon didn't kneel, and then one guy from the Heat didn't
Yeah,
kneel.
he didn't. He didn't know. Yeah, Leonard.
But
Yeah,
but all the rest of them had on their Black Lives Matter shirt. Man,
Well,
who plays?
not everybody, but go ahead.
This young man who plays for the Orlando Magic, Jonathan Isaac, decided not to wear the shirt. He also decided to stand up. And then when he was asked about it, he gave an answer um, that I personally felt like, and this is just my personal opinion, I felt like he was using his word was the gospel, how black people have been protected by the gospel or supported by the gospel. And I think to me that is it didn't ring solid for me. It rang real hollow. Because to me, not only was he just not wearing the shirt, but by standing up and wearing his all white jersey, to me, it was almost like protesting the peaceful protest. That's what it felt like to me. And as I shared with the guys earlier, for me, sometimes some things are bigger than who I am as an individual. And if you got a league like the NBA where they are now everybody's kneeling, or not everybody, most people are kneeling, and the NBA has come together and said this is a thing we want to get behind. I think this is a time for you to get behind something, for you to get behind. And if it doesn't compromise your core fundamental beliefs to where you feel like you are going against everything you believe in, then I think you go with the crowd for the sake of the purpose. That's just me. So I'm gonna let these guys chime in. I know Gio feels some type of way,
Go ahead,
so
Gio.
we're gonna let him air his grievances.
No, I'm good. I think you said it best. Everyone has their own opinions. I mean, you can see it one way, I see it another way, but at the end of the day, I think that it's very important to understand someone's motives. And some it's not every time that someone speaks. The guy's 21 years old. Again, let me just say this young man is 21 years old. It's not every time that someone speaks that they are able to articulate what it is that's really and truly in his heart. I do agree that the word choice that he utilized probably should have been more thought out, more concise, more to the point. He should have answered a specific question and not just gone off on his whatever his platform is. But in America, uh, that's what the kneeling protest is all about. We all have the right to protest. So I don't mind that he protests the protest. And, I want to add to that there are people who in their hearts of hearts believe that they should not kneel for to any other person other than God. That's their religious beliefs. That there are some people who don't believe in kneeling outside of kneeling at church. So some people, who perhaps espouse the three Hebrew boys' philosophy. They're not going to genuflex for anybody. So I'm not saying that was what's in his heart. I don't know, but I do know that just from reading what he said, the statement he made was that kneeling and wearing a shirt really doesn't really equal to Black Lives Matter. And so I choose to look at what he has done for his community. And I see Job talking. Job, man, that's your neighbor, man. That's your boy from down in Naples. Anyways, I see that he's done much for the community, for the Black community. So
Can you list some of those?
I
No
mean,
cap. I just want to know.
as a matter of fact, he's won the humanitarian award, community outreach award for the Orlando Magic. He's done so much for the community. He's given out food to during actually as recent as COVID. He's given out food to young people, disenfranchised young people who have been adversely affected by COVID. He has, through his jump ministries, he has done a lot of things for people in the inner city. You can look it up. His track record speaks for himself. I do think, I do think though that at the end of the day, we have to stop. I think we must. Come on, man. We must stop. We must stop. We must stop. We have to stop generalizing everything. The optics might have not have been the best. I agree with that. But at the end of the day, if he has a personal conviction that he says is as strong as Cap's conviction, how can we applaud one and condemn the other, right?
Let
So
All right.
let
Can I?
before crop before you chime in, I just want to read the statement so we have it. So they asked why. He said, absolutely, I believe that Black Lives Matter. A lot went into my decision, and part of it is my thought that kneeling or wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt do not go hand in hand with supporting Black lives. I feel like just me personally and what it is that I believe and standing on the stance that I do believe that Black Lives Matter. But I just felt like that it was a decision I had to make. I didn't feel like putting that shirt on and kneeling with hand in hand with Black lives. My life has been supported through the gospel. Everyone is made in God's image, and we all fall short of God's glory. Each and every one of us do things every day that we shouldn't do. We say things we shouldn't do. We shouldn't hate or dislike. Sometimes it gets to a point where we point fingers whose evil is worse. Sometimes it comes down to whose evil is most visible. I felt like I wanted to take a stand on we all make mistakes, but the gospel says there's grace for us. If we all come to an understanding of that and God wants us to have a relationship with us, we can get past all the things that we are messed up and jacked up. When you look around, racism isn't the only thing that plays our society, that plays our nation, and plays our world. I feel like come together that we want to get past not only racism but everything that plays our society is the gospel.
All right.
I think there's nothing wrong with that statement. I think that's a very good statement. It's very balanced. He's because again, and this is why if we're gonna have a serious conversation, let's do it. But he's standing on his principle. He's saying basically this is why he did what he did, and I think that the portion he's speaking about, everyone has. He's talking about the different ills, different ills in society. That's almost as if that to me he's now utilizing that thought process to defend his stance for standing up. And again, like as I said to you, to y'all in the pre-production, a lot of these professional athletes, they have certain platforms that they're going to say at no matter at the most inopportune times. We talked about Drew Brees. They asked him a question about one thing. He answered a question about something else, right? And again, it was very insensitive because he could have done better at listening to the question and maybe getting out of his automatic setting and giving a real statement. In this case, I think that well, go ahead.
I just want to say this. I don't think it's justice to this brother to compare what he did to what Breeze did.
Okay.
I think they're different. I think Drew Brees said exactly how he felt. Over time, he's always said God and country.
Okay, so now again, are you hearing what I'm saying? You just said what
I am hearing you.
You just said what I said.
I'm listening.
You said exactly what I said.
What I'm saying
because I'm saying to you, these professional athletes have platforms that they're going to say the same answer to different questions at whatever, no matter what the circumstances are. These are tried and true, tested answers that they say. So
what I'm saying is
for Drew Brees, what he did was he said something that he said he went back to automatic, not realizing the context to which that question was asked. We have a country that is literally in the midst of erupting in fire as a result of police brutality, and he says the same thing that he's been saying for the last 10 years is he went to default automatic
because that's who he is. Well, that's who he is.
That may be who he is aligned with in terms of his charities, in terms of his business ventures. Is not necessarily who he is basically his marketing platform. So these professional players have marketing platforms. That's how they make money. Okay, so you understand that. So Jonathan Isaac also has a marketing platform. His may be more spiritual than Drew Brees, which his is more about the country. But at the same time, they each have their platforms. And he was asked a question, and I think and the comparison comes back to now. I think just like Drew Brees, he went back to automatic and just gave it an answer that he should have probably thought deeper and clearer about.
I actually think more of this young man than I do Drew Brees. So me personally, I don't want to compare the two, but I understand that's the argument that you wanted to make. So I respect that. Me personally, when I think about the issue, I'm not interested in dragging another brother through social media or even on this platform. I have my personal views on what he said. He didn't break any laws. He did take a stand. I wish the NFL would have allowed Kaepernick to take a stand. But he took a stand. It's within his rights to do that. So I respect that. My only challenge is I do think his view of the gospel and our responsibility as Christians to speak out for perhaps is a little skewed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and and I also think perhaps he was unaware of how serious he's standing for one thing, but he is weaponizing his stance for white supremacists
Mm-hmm.
who now are going to go out and buy his jersey, and he's going to be a poster child for something that he didn't want. And so I don't know if it was all the way thought out. You know, like you said, the young man is 21. But I do think beyond platforms, right? You we judge a person by what they say and what they do. And I'm blessed to where there isn't as much of a microscope on me. And I do think a lot of what he said, there was validity in what he said. But I also just think, I don't know if like the whole kneeling thing, right? So I know you made the point, some feel like you can't kneel, but I mean you can say the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And not have an issue. I just think there was some inconsistencies in what was done. But I'm not gonna drag the brother. I think we are one of the only um groups that drag their own.
Yeah.
Like now, if he did something, if he stands up and says all lives matter and no, black lives don't matter, then yeah, I'm gonna hold him accountable for what he said. But I'm not gonna drag this young man on social media. And I see people laughing because now he tore his knee,
ACL. Mm-hmm.
ACL. No, I don't wish that on anybody,
That's
man.
same you and Ben.
And I think the biggest thing for me was just, as like you pointed out, that you weaponize the people who don't like Black lives, who think Black lives don't matter. You weaponize them, and I think using the gospel as a reason for why you won't why you feel like you had to stand up instead of kneeling. To me, that's the same. That's like white people. To me, it's like how people try to use the Bible to justify slavery. I think social justice is a gospel issue. I think standing up for Black lives, supporting Black lives, and like I said, sometimes the issue is bigger than me. And so
Yeah.
I think at that moment, this isn't even to me the fact that not only standing up, but everybody else have on a black shirt and he's wearing his white jersey. To me it's bad optics.
Yeah, the optics
And
are
then
bad.
then the argument to say, oh, the gospel has supported Black people. There's some Black people right now who don't feel like the gospel has supported them.
Let me just say
And I
this.
do want to say
Can
this
I,
about the whole platform
can I
thing.
can I just jump
I,
in?
I,
I had my foot in first.
you were a little
I-
exhausted
my,
with your
my, my,
explanation.
my foot
You
was
were a
in
little
first.
exhausted.
My
You were a
foot
little
was in first
exhausted.
because
You were a little exhausted.
both you and AJ, I see you guys on the same saying the same thing. But just like white supremacists may weaponize him standing, there's a lot of people who are very far left. I mean, far left, right? Who weaponizing our protests. And we've seen that. We've seen people out there burning down stores, and these ain't people from our communities, right? So at both polarities, you have people that will always utilize whatever stand someone makes for their own political agenda, right? So that to me is a non sequitur. That's not something that really matters to me. I do agree though that in terms of giving somebody green light to be a racist, uh, you know, that is a possibility. But at the same time, if we're going to be equal and balanced, we have to say that the same is true on the other side of the polarity.
I want to say one thing, and I want to get to some of the remarks that are in the comment section. I do want to push back on one of the things that you said when you were talking about just platforms that people have their platforms that they support and things of that nature, their endorsements and things of that nature. I mean, that's in essence why the NFL blacklisted Cap,
Mm-hmm.
because the owners felt like it was against their platforms, their financial backing, to allow this man to kneel. And I think it's not enough, man, for us. And I'm not saying that you were given it a green or a pass, but I do think even with your platform, whoever is writing your checks, that's why I'm not buying Starbucks right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they wouldn't let somebody wear a Black Lives Matter mask. And yeah, they put out a apology, but I'm good on that. I'm good on them, right? And so I do think we have to hold people accountable for what they do to appease the people who are paying them.
I
I
agree
don't
with
know if
that
you want to go through.
1,000.
There was a lot of people who commented.
Go
I
ahead. Go
want
ahead.
them to feel
Thank you.
a part of this. Start off with Job. It says, I think his heart might have been in the right place, but the way he went about it and his answer when interviewed didn't help. I also believe that being a minister, he has to be very careful how he's leading. He definitely has the right to stand and say as he pleases, but every choice has
So
consequences.
let me ask Job something, because Job actually knows him. Oh, I don't know if he knows him personally, but he's from the same area. Um, well, I don't know if that's even a fair question to ask, but anyways, I want to ask it because I was going to ask a question if he felt at any time that maybe Jonathan is the type of person who doesn't believe that Black Lives Matter, and I think that that's key, because again, from understanding what's in his heart, we can maybe understand why it is that he did what he did and how he did it, right? But if we don't know him personally, if we don't know what's in his heart, then we can only judge him by what we see. And I think that that's unfortunate. Not only judge by what we see, but by what he says. And again, as we said, he should have had somebody prepare that statement for him, in my opinion. But go ahead.
All right. Tiffany Dean Mobley says, I'm sorry, but I didn't like what he said. We are talking about justice and equality. I don't understand what that has to do with making mistakes. Joe Bink, let me read something else. He was comparing apples and oranges. My dad says taking a knee was supportive of Black Lives Matters. Jesus's life was about supporting the less fortunate, and the knee is not in adoration, but in confirmation and support.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't wish no ill upon the brother, and I'm not happy that he got injured. I just think, like I said, I think sometimes we have to realize that, especially at this time, that sometimes the issue is bigger than me. The cause is bigger than me, and so therefore I'm if it's a cause I believe in, I'm going to support the cause. At the expense of me not shining my light or wherever my light is. So, but that's just me. I mean, like I said,
Uh,
we want to talk about it because it's a relevant topic, and we just want to make sure people understand. If we have a gripe, we understand the gripe, but we're not wishing that the brother was injured.
this goes back,
Correct.
and I know you probably read the story about Bonhoeffer. I mean, it goes back to ethics. If you have a personal conviction of something, you cannot. I don't think it is wise for us to say that someone's personal ethical stance on one thing, in terms of him not wanting to take a knee, whether because he doesn't believe in the organization BLM, or whether because he doesn't believe in kneeling. Again, I don't know why he did take a knee. I'm just giving you all different options and scenarios, right?
But but we don't have to assume. We go by what he said.
Exactly. But what he said in terms of not taking a knee, did not make sense. I think that that's what we all
Yeah,
agree.
that's what I'm saying. So it sounds like to me you
So
were trying to throw something out there.
he did not he did not make sense. I think the closest that he got to it was saying that taking a knee and wearing a shirt does not equate to Black Lives Matter, and that I think is something that is I think that's a factual statement. I don't think that the only way that we can show that Black Lives Matter is by taking a knee or wearing a shirt. I think it goes deeper than that, because then I can almost guarantee that there's a lot of NBA players who have taken a knee this weekend, who put on the jersey, who put on the shirt, and have done a thing for Black Lives Matter in terms of being out in the front line, right? So that to me, I think is a factual statement. But
Yeah,
what I,
but we're
but
not saying that's the only way. But if you believe in Black Lives Matters and there's a presentation for us to come together, a show of solidarity, then
he
why
was,
not
but he
support it?
AJ he was
If you can
AJ
stand in
AJ
support
he was
of
there.
people who fought for the country,
He was there. He
if you
didn't.
can stand in
He was
support for the flag, for live blood that was shed for us to be able to vote, for happy for life and the pursuit of happiness, if you can stand for that, like,
how do we know?
why can't you kneel?
But how do we know what he stands for? I mean, unless you know something that I don't know. I don't know what
I mean, at the end of the day,
We just gotta go what he said.
How do you know that he's?
whenever
How do you know that he's taking the pledge? How do you know that he's standing for? Like what I'm saying to you all is, again, I was going back to. I was trying to talk about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and dealing with the fact that sometimes your ethics, you know, it's hard to go against what you believe in. You know, and that as a person, you have to find some kind of balance. And I think that he found balance. Maybe he doesn't feel comfortable kneeling, but he stood there. He could have went back to the locker room. He could have sat down. He could have done, you know, he could have done a lot of things where he wasn't even in, but he was there, you know. And then again, his track record shows that he actually cares. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
Well, I don't know if his track record shows that. I mean, and
there are a lot of rich white people that donate to black causes and don't like black people.
I mean,
so
but I'm not trying to go into that because I think he's a good guy. He won a humanitarian award. I read the award. It didn't say who he fed, right? So we're talking about Black lives, right?
Okay.
So that's what we're talking about. So I don't want to. I know earlier you said Google him and stats speak for himself. I ain't see all of that, but I'm not saying he's not doing that either. But you know, I'm not going to jump out there and say that.
Well,
my whole point is if you can stand, right, and solid, and for whatever reason, he could be praying while he's standing, but he's standing.
Okay.
He's every game he stands for the national anthem.
Yeah.
And we know what that means. Why people are standing. If you can stand for that, why can't you take a knee for a worthy cause? So I think that's part of the challenge.
And you know what?
People ain't understanding.
Well, it's not so much about understanding. I don't think that, again, that to me doesn't make any. I don't see the correlation between the two, because for one, the standing for the standing. I mean, a lot of people are standing for the during the national anthem. He's not the only one. Everyone is doing it. Even people who are on the record saying that they wouldn't stand, they're standing for the national anthem. All right. So my thing for that is just a part of the game. I wish it would take it out. I don't think that I don't see a reason for it being there, to be honest with you. But I don't necessarily say that because he's standing means that he's in approval of something. There's a lot of people who are standing who may not be in approval. LeBron James stands every day, every game. A lot of people stand every game. Doesn't mean that they're in approval for it. It's just a part of the culture of the game, of the sports.
No, but there are people. That's what I'm saying, though. He took us. Everybody now is kneeling.
Okay.
And he made a decision not to kneel.
Okay.
And Cap made a decision to kneel.
I got you.
There was a guy before Cap. He was in the NBA. I forget his name. He had a Muslim name.
Mm-hmm.
And he was blacklisted. I forget his name. I think he played for the Nuggets.
I know you're talking about.
And he made a decision not to stand. So what I'm saying is if you can he's standing for what he believes in or is okay with, because he's showing he made a public statement and said, I don't kneel because I think it's more to it than kneeling. So why don't you sit, because you think it's more than being an American than standing for the national anthem?
I like what Job said. Job says, I can't fault him or cancel him for this mistake, but his mistake was huge. Maybe he'll come out and explain himself better. I think that that's what he might need to do. That way we can probably understand where it's coming from a little bit better.
He just needs to move past it and allow his actions to show who he really is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no statement. I don't know if he can come back and clean it up. I mean, it's gonna be scripted.
Whenever people clean it up, never cleans up.
That's like Drew Brees. You think his locker room is behind him right now? No, your boy about to come in there and steal that joint.
Famous Jameis.
He gonna come correct. So I just think by the fruit, we would know him. So continue doing. You say he's been active in the community.
Dr. Hannah says
he can continue to do what he's doing, and he'll be all right.
Yeah, Dr. Hannah just said, true, we cannot judge his heart. However, it is not just what you intend to say and do that counts. Very good. The message that other people get from your speech and action also counts. Very good. That's true. So is very, again, is balance, which is his action says a lot to a lot of people. And what's so funny about it is his one action may be saying different messages to different people, and depending on what or where you fall on that spectrum, you're getting something different. You're getting a different message, and that's unfortunate. Rashid said Chris Jackson. Is that who you're talking about? Was it Rahif? Was Rahif?
I think he had a Muslim
Yeah,
name.
he had a
Maybe he changed
Abdul
his
Rahim,
name.
Abdul,
Abdul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something right here. I know you're talking about, yeah.
yeah.
he's a hooper, man.
It was a shooter.
Yeah. But all right, man, we got I believe we got two black entrepreneurs we're gonna highlight tonight before we get out of here.
All right. So the first one, AJ, is Miss Cowan. You want to go in and do this one?
I can't see what we
All
got
right.
on there. So
All right. So this is the entrepreneurial spotlight, as Ted said. Every time we have a show, we want to put someone out there to give them a little bit more appreciation for their work. This is this is called "I Am My Sister's Keeper." And on the founder, she says she's a single mother herself. Margaret Cowan knows the struggles of being a single mother. It is her hope to be a voice of this often forgotten demographic. And then our history, seeing a need for support of single mothers, we forward our organization to provide a network and resources. We've consistently grown since then, all thanks to the helping hands of this amazing community. And this is their mission. I like this. Their mission is to alleviate many of the stressors which prevent single mothers from being successful through the provision of the affordable housing, through the provision of affordable housing, childcare, tutoring, and access to healthy meals. And so you can check her out if you would like to make some donations, or if you're looking for some resources. If you're a single mother, you can go to www.iamMySissyskeeper.org. And there's also a phone number that's listed on the website that you can call, 901 Again, that number is 901-281-7626. Anything you want to say about that, Ted, or are we good?
no, we're good, man. And I think she's doing a good work up there. I think she's in Tennessee.
Yeah.
She's doing a good work up there with her organization. So say, man, we wanted to shout her out, man, and appreciate what she's doing. So if anybody's in that area, I guess you can also, anywhere you are, you can reach out to her. I think this is something that can be duplicated in other areas that
Yeah.
can be a support system to those who are in need. So I would definitely say reach out to her. I was trying to tag her, but I cannot remember her Facebook name for the life of me to make sure she gets it. So
Yo, that is dope. I was actually thinking a lot of churches should look into doing something like that in terms of
hmm
their outreach ministries to literally care for those who are in need. Awesome, Margaret Cowan. Good job. And then listen, I haven't been to this restaurant yet or eaten from her table, but if she cooks anything like her mama cooks, I know that this thing is off the chain. When I was pastoring down at Mount Sinai in Orlando, I had the privilege of pastoring her and her family, and many Sabbaths I've eaten at their house. And she started, Keisha Wilhite started this new restaurant, and it's actually vegan. It's called Keisha's Kitchen Vegan Eat. I like the tagline. Your tummy will thank you for eating at Keisha's Kitchen Vegan Eat. You can find them on Facebook and on Instagram. Everything at Keisha's Kitchen. Make sure you put Orlando. You don't want to go to the wrong place. I was up in Winnipeg today, but no, you want to go to the one in Orlando. It's a vegan restaurant. And I'm looking at this menu: vegan barbecue rib plate. My goodness. Vegan soul food plate. Yeah, vegan all kinds of stuff.
Mm.
And it just sounds good. A fajita bowl. We're talking about assorted peppers and onions. I don't know how you can make a vegan barbecue rib, but I'm all for it. The number for the restaurant is 407-879-7442. Again, this is our homegirl right out of Orlando. These are black owned entrepreneurs. We want to say thank you for what they're doing. And if you can, support as much as you can.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna, I mean, I know we sometimes we slip at this, but we're gonna remember to try to tag them on all our social media. So if you don't get information now, we'll try to remember to tag them so you can find them. We'll do that, make that a priority, do that on a weekly basis.
I think that's it, guys. Any closing thoughts?
Well, it's actually your day to share a shoe,
I'm actually
Gio.
I know I should have asked that before I came out here. I don't have any shoe out here. Someone, can you give me a shoe
You
real
went
quick?
first.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Well, go
Or
ahead.
if you
Go.
want to go next week,
I'll
Ted
go.
is
I'll go
like he
next.
ready on deck.
Yeah, I go next week. I would have to go. I would have to go to the vault. I would have to go to the vault to get it.
Oh yeah.
That boy said go to the vault.
Go
Oh
ahead, just grab
man.
that right there, man. Mellows. I'm grabbing mellows.
All right, so this is the Jordan 13 Mellow. So the crazy thing
Mm,
about this shoe when it came out is that a lot of people, if you don't know, you have B grade shoes. B grade shoes is any shoe that has a defect and automatically go into the outlet. And this shoe, even though it came out on retail, it automatically almost after retail went to the outlet as a B grade shoe.
Put it up again.
Um, the problem is that on certain spots, like I don't know if y'all probably can see it, but like there was red bleeding through the shoe.
Mm.
And so a lot of people had an issue with this. It's some right there too. So this shoe I think retail maybe for like 190, but I ended up getting it in the outlet for like $90.
mm.
So and I think it's a clean shoe. It's
Yeah,
comfortable.
it's clean.
It's comfortable as heck. I was walking through the airport and one guy just like, man, what are those? What are those? So people like the shoe, but I think just because of the defects in it and it happens, a lot of people didn't buy them or they bought them and took them back. But I mean, I could say for $90 it was a steal. So this is the Mellow 13. I still got this sticker on there on my bubble.
It's all
I,
good. Keep
yeah,
us
I worn
safe.
them. I worn them like once. So clean shoe, comfortable. Mellow 13s.
We saw the 12s of that colorway drop
Yeah,
recently
yeah.
also.
One of my favorite YouTubers said that the hood loves that shoe.
Yeah.
he saw one picture with like 30 family members. All of them had the 12s on.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
wild.
mean, right now everybody only buy on online. The everything's selling out. So it's just what it is. Whether or not they like it, it's selling out. So
Yes, sir. All right, guys, man, it's been great kicking it with you all. Thank you so much, y'all. Some of y'all hung in here for this whole time, man. We're grateful for you. If you just peeped your head in, man, for a second, we're grateful for that too. The likes, the shares, it all is important to us. And we're grateful that you took time out of your busy evenings to kick it with us. Please, if you haven't already, you can go ahead and hit that share button. It still is important. Hit that like button and then follow us, subscribe to us. Kickinit316 on pretty much every platform. We're on YouTube. We're on here on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And we're going to begin to, I'm challenging us, man, to get back and start putting some more content out. I got a couple shoes that I can review. We're going to put some more content out there, man. Also, AJ, drop the information on our podcast.
so on our podcast, you can find us on Anchor, Google Podcast, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public. Those are a couple places. We're still trying to get on more. We got a couple that are still pending. Hopefully those come in soon. But right now, those are the places that you can find us. So make sure you go ahead. Like I say, if you can't watch us or if you want to listen to us while you're driving in your car, you want to share with somebody else, podcast is the way to go. YouTube is also there as well. So we have options. Y'all can't never say you missed the episode because we have options, ways of you listening and watching us, even if you can't watch us live.
All right. Until next time, this has been Kicking It 316. Peace.
We out.